Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got breaking news in the association right now. The trades just continue and continue and continue. I thought it was all but over with. Ladies and gentlemen, the fire sale in Boston continues. This is wild. We just less than 24 hours, coming off the heels of Drew Holiday, and now we have Kristaps Porzingis. We got champions on the move. Porzingis is traded to the Hawks in a three-team deal with the Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets. We got a lot to discuss. I got coffee to the world. You already know what it is, the legendary coffee. We're gonna break it all down. We just getting started. Salute to everybody that's in the chat right now. That's everybody rolling in the building. I repeat, Boston, Atlanta, and Brooklyn are finalizing a three-team deal that sends Kristaps Porzingis and a second-round pick to the Hawks, Terrence Mann, and Atlanta's number 22nd pick to the Nets, and Georges Niang and a second rounder to the Celtics. So we got a lot of different moving parts on the move right now. This is breaking. It's just now hot off the presser. I got coffee in the building with me. What's your thoughts on what's going on in the NBA? You got the draft in less than 24 hours. The trades are just continuing to run rampant. What the hell is going on with the Boston Celtics? What's your thoughts on Porzingis being on the move, Holiday being on the move? What the hell is going on in the association?
Okay, so before we address those trades, let's talk about that Kevin Durant joint that just went down, and he's in Houston Rockets now.
That's right.
So it's important, it's imperative that people understand. They say, well, Kevin is a missing piece for Houston Rockets, and before that, he was a missing piece for Phoenix. And before that, he was a missing piece for other team. Before that, he was a missing piece for another team. Some of that worked out well for him, some of them didn't. But what's not going to change is Father Time. And that keep on happening. That keep on getting right, keep on getting up there. Now you got the good coach over there that did big business in Boston. Now he's the head coach of Houston, Doc Ford, whatever his name is. Y'all know the coach. But what they did and what they shouldn't have done is, if you're going to acquire KD, you should acquire and should have kept Jalen Green. You can't say, well, Houston was number 2, and they had a chance to really beat them. They gave OKC problems. Yeah, 85% of them problems came from Jalen Green. He a problem. And then you trade your bully on the team, the other bully that came from Memphis. So I don't see Houston really making no noise like that. And then for Kevin Durant, he's chasing the championship. I don't want to see him go out like that. It's kind of sad. Everybody want a championship, but it's proven what OKC did. Building chemistry is believing in your players. Boston Celtics did that too. They was together for about 5 years before they won their first championship. You got to keep a team together. All this is good entertainment, the draft and this, that, and other, and this trade and that trade. But the secret is keeping your team together, willing to believe in your team when you got them, the chemistry that they're going to formalize over those years. You can't expect a player to be together 1 or 2 years and think, okay, we got to win. You want instant gratification, and then it don't happen. They get the trade in here and get the trade in there. That's showing me a lot of people in the front office don't know what the fuck they doing. They just up in there and trying to listen to all those different stats and different analysts and this, that, and another, and really ain't played the game of basketball, and they really don't know how to keep shit together. It's unfortunate because OKC gonna be around for a minute. They young, and that GM and the president understands, as well as the owner. They understands. They got all them players signed already, and I believe they got 4 first-round draft picks. Oklahoma got four. OKC, I believe, yeah, 4. They got 4 draft picks, first round. So, and he made good decisions. You took a person like SGA, who got cut his high school from junior varsity. How you cut a motherfucker from high school? You didn't see nothing in SGA, just like they cut Michael Jordan his sophomore year. And then he went to the Clippers, and they traded him to OKC. So come on, Clippers. Y'all didn't see that in the SGA? And now he the best player in the world. He won MVP and just recently won a championship. So a lot of these owners, they be, playing these games and going here and going there and for entertainment value and shock value and those purposes. But the key is chemistry, keeping the team together, believing in what you got as a young core, getting somebody that really understand the game, like a Mark Jackson. I hope New York Knicks, hire Mark Jackson. She should have been hired a long time ago. You don't blackball no person like that put your team together, Golden State Warriors. Steve Kerr didn't do nothing but step in. I could have did that. You could have did that, Flight. Anybody could just step in after Mark Jackson put it together because you ain't coaching. These guys coaching themselves. But Mark Jackson said it a long time ago. I got the best shooting backcourt in the history. You know what they did? They laughed at him. The fuck out of here, Mark Jackson. You know what you're talking about. What you mean? Stephon with Stephen Curry and the other boy can shoot the best in the world. Come on, man. Come on, dog. You capping Mark Jackson. And what did Mark Jackson do? He showed you. And once they fired him, what did that backcourt do with Williams and Curry? They showed you it was the best shooting duo ever. And you got to believe in these guys, man. Hire the right coach. Hire people like Sam Cassell, motherfuckers that been around the game. Don't always think we got to hire this white coach, this white coach, this white coach. Hire your black coach. You coaching what? 75, 85% black men? Come on, man. Get the coach that played the game. Talk to me, Flight.
It's a lot to talk about, man. Obviously, that move with KD, we all know that's big. That's a lot of ramifications. A lot of people had that hat, in the race for Kevin Durant. We heard the teams that was out there. We heard all of the speculation, but nonetheless, here we are today. Durant is in Houston with Ime Udoka. They are looking to do something. I'm hearing that they may even be getting another star. So we don't know what the hell is going to happen up there in H-Town. But as we head to the Eastern Conference, it seems like there's a lot of influx. You got Desmond Bain, going out there. It's crazy. To Orlando, I like this move. You got a lot of these teams retooling. I'm pretty sure if you Atlanta, you thinking, hey, if he could get his act right, Porzingis, if he can get healthy, maybe he can do a little something for us. The East is going to be wide open. I'm starting to think maybe Jalen Brown is next. All seriousness, because what the hell are they doing? It's going to be interesting to see.
They talk about him going to the Lakers, which is a possibility. Anybody get Jalen Brown as a come up. I wouldn't let Jalen Brown go. You don't let nothing like that go. He worth every penny.
Let Tatum go.
Yeah, you might as well, because you're gonna mess up the whole chemistry. You already showed me that whoever in that office stop knowing what they're doing, or they stop listening to the person that was knowing what they're doing, because you let your defender go that came from Milwaukee. Who the defender that came from Milwaukee? What's his name? Holiday.
Yeah, they let him go.
How you let Holiday go? Holiday is a two-side player. You don't let nobody like that go, because he's proven every time he go to a team, he makes the team better. Every team he go to, he makes them better on both sides of the ball. You don't let nobody like that go. Now, Porzingis, no doubt the injuries, but all it takes is 1 year, for him to be healthy. But you can't teach 7'1", 7'3", whatever, however tall he is. You can't teach height. He can shoot the three. He can go inside, outside. He can block shots. He can alter shots. You can't teach that. He gonna look good over there with Atlanta. It's unfortunate that they didn't keep him. They should have kept him. Boston, but people get frustrated. They don't get the championship. They get frustrated. Out of 37 teams, only one team can win. Everybody ain't gonna win a damn championship. Keep the team together. Make the most money you can possibly can, and then hopefully that next year you'll blend into something nice. Because OKC doing it the right way. They got the young players and they keep the team together. You got to keep. I can remember back in the day, Chicago Bears kept the team together. They won. They split it up. They didn't win nothing else. Same thing with the Chicago Bulls. You can't tear teams up. Even now, back then count as now. It's the same shit. Same the formula is keeping the team together, grow, know your personnel, and get the right coach to coach the personnel because it's all about attitudes, blending the attitudes into these guys. And don't just keep telling me some white coach is the best fit for the job. No, you got too many Sam Casellas out there, too many Mark Jacksons out there that's fit for that job too. But the problem with black people, they hate themselves, so they think black people can get the job done. You got to give the black coach the opportunity to give him the chance, because in the big and on some real shit, it's the black man's game, and we the one invented the whole game. I know Nate Smith. We invented the whole game.
Yeah, man. Most definitely coffee,
I
man.
got something I want to add to that though, Fly,
What's that?
because a lot of people don't know what's happening. I got two sons that I never talked about. They twins. They call the Henry twins. The Henry twins are making rapid moves. I'm just like LeVar made his pick and predict, and he told y'all, watch out for Zoe, watch out for Jello, watch out for Melo. I'm telling y'all right now, watch out for the Henry twins. They're gonna be number one pick. And LeVar was right, and I'm right on this with what I'm saying. I also came out with never anything too easy .life, not .com, .life, because everybody's life on this planet, yours included, Flight, it's never anything too easy. No matter your culture, no matter your ethnicity, no matter your race, you can't escape it. Never anything too easy .life. Everybody visit that website, that clothing brand. Stop putting your money to Nike and these other Louis Vuittons and these other people that don't give a F about you. They don't care nothing about your life. They don't even know who you are. Wear something that's who you are every day. Never anything tweezes your life. On top of that, I got the same manufacturers that Louis Vuitton got, and Puma and all that other crap, Chanel. I got the same manufacturer who I've been connected with over 16 years. We just did something that's epic, that's making waves in the clothing industry, that's shocking the world. Never anything too easy. .life. And it's also about to be huge because it's the NIL deal that I got, and I'm signing other athletes. So my twins, watch out for my sons. I told y'all what I was doing, but I kept it low key. Doctors said they're gonna be anywhere from 6'9" to 6'11", and they point guards. They go to one school in Chicago. Y'all about to hear about them. They about to go crazy. They mine too. I trained them too since they was babies. And they about to make epic moves. Just like LeVar Ball did. Shout out to big LeVar Ball for doing what he's doing and building that basketball court. And I saw your program on what AB, because your AB is the one that introduced us to what LeVar was doing when he was
Yes.
constructing that thing, a few years back. And that's huge, because to have your own basketball court, now you got his sons coming back. Had his son listen to him the first time, they'd be billionaires. Fuck them Pumas. Big baller brand. Because the Pumas don't even look better than the big baller brand. Listen to your father. Once again, listen to your father. He make epic moves, and he sacrificed so much. He even sacrificed the leg. Look at that, man. He's still going. You can't break his spirits. He's still going. The sons, they understand now. The young brothers understand now. Zoe, Jello, and Melo, they understand now. And look at what's happening. And I said this also about 3 years ago. If the LA Clippers get them three young generals, it's over with, because they just built the Intuit Dome, cost over $2 billion. Steve Ballmer is the perfect person to do it, and the Ball family is the perfect trio to be in there selling out tickets. It'd be an epic, it'd be a rock show. And I said this shit 3 years ago. Steve Ballmer got to step up, and you heard LeVar Ball say it. Steve Ballmer or the new Laker management, because you just sold the Lakers for about what? How much they selling for? What, $12 billion? How much they selling for?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot. I'll look it
Yeah,
up
it's a
and
lot of
see.
money. It's a lot of bees. There's a lot of bees. So
Lot
now
of
LeVar entertaining that. They can play for the Lakers again because it's under new management, under new what's the name, after they sell that team. But Steve Ballmer, you want your shit to sell out all the time. Not that money is the big issue for you, because you got over $300 billion, but you love that excitement. You love that hype. And the Ball family is the ones that having that in Tour Dome, because can't nobody pack the gym as more exciting as them, especially when they playing together. And we all witnessed it when they did it at Chino Hills. It's amazing what LeVar Ball said and what he predicted, and it all come true. Like I'm telling y'all right now, never anything too easy. .life, the website, the clothing brand will be the hottest shit on the planet. And you see what I'm rocking right now with this hoodie. It's your life. You can't escape it, no matter your culture. Go ahead, Flight.
Oh man, I mean, this shit is crazy. I mean, to say the least, man. Um, I'm just caught up in what's going on with this recent trade with Kristaps Porzingis. Um, I mean, this is kind of crazy, to be honest with you. That he's moving on. The Eastern Conference couldn't be any more wide open. Pause. We talk a lot about um, to be honest with you, the Knicks should just walk to the finals. I think that the Knicks got to be focused too. Because they were the runner up. Listen, you got Halliburton out. Indiana, they may do some retoolment too. I'm here to predict to the people, and I said this in my recent video. I don't know if y'all heard it, but I said that look out for Indiana. You got Miles Turner coming up. He's a free agent, and this guy Miles Turner, the way Carlisle play, he could put anybody in the game. They don't have to pay this guy $40 million or whatever the hell he's asking for. They don't have to do that. They could spread that money all around. I just don't see Indiana going into the luxury tax and paying him all this money. When they had Obi Toppin and Siakam playing basically in the clutch.
I
So
think they, I think they
it's
on their
not.
either they second. I think they're on their second apron. But to go back to the New York Knicks, to expound on that point right there, and we love our homeboy Jalen Bronson, Chicago kid, off the chain. But Jalen got to at least be a point guard. We don't need you to score 35, 40 no more. You ain't got to do that. You already proven you a scorer. But you got to spread that ball around, and that's just not all his fault. A lot of that come from Tibbs because he only goes 6 or 7 deep, which is proven to hurt your team. Injuries and all that. But if you got 12 players to 15 players on your roster, you got 3 additional motherfuckers you can use. You got to go deeper, Tibbs. You can't do the same thing you did in Chicago and Minnesota and New York. You can't keep carrying that shit all the way because he only trusts 6 or 7 people, loyal to really about 6 people. And then when it come down deeper to them playoffs, you get fucked up because you got other players on your team. No, they ain't gonna get in. So now when they do get in, they kind of having doubts because you pull the trigger, they looking over their shoulder thinking you're gonna pull them out, this and that, and which is what he do. So now he's fucking with their confidence, which is why Carlisle fucked them up. Because Carlisle not only an old school coach, a proven coach, and got a championship, but Carlisle go 10 or 12 deep. He used his whole bench. They play. Oklahoma coach, he go 10 or 12 deep. They use their whole bench. They play. So Tibbs, man, I know they saying, man, New York ain't went nowhere since 1970. Why would they fire Tibbs? Why would they fire Tibbs? It was the right time to fire Tibbs because he's digging in. You have Pooh there. You didn't even use Pooh. You didn't even use Derrick Rose because you don't want to go deep, and you love Derrick Rose. But Tibbs got to make an adjustment inside his mindset. You got to go 10 deep, dog. The motherfuckers in the pros can play. All of them, all 430 or 40 something, all of them can play. They ain't just in the pros just by luck or just by, they just all right. No, they can play. They go to the YMCA and give you about 80 points, 100 points. So you got to put these players in the game. You got to utilize your players. Stop putting them on the bench. Stop doing that bullshit. That's why I love when you used to watch UNLV Tark go 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, 5 out. It makes sense. It makes all the sense in the world. So I don't know why they don't use their players like that. So Tibbs, you out of there. Hopefully, you're gonna end up getting another job because you're proven. But hopefully, you change your mindset and go use your players and go 10 or 11 deep. The best coach I think gonna be for that job, and I know they ain't gonna pretty much do shit. But it's Mark Jackson. He's a hometown. He's homegrown. He know the game. He's a proven winner. He's a proven man that knows that builds up the team. How you don't hire Mark Jackson? And if they don't want to hire Sam Cassell as the head coach of another team, hire Sam Cassell as an assistant coach with Mark Jackson. Let him bring him in, and then give him a head coaching job. Because Sam should have had his head coaching job. So should have Mark Jackson. But these teams that not using their players, OKC and Indiana, they talking about they 2 small market teams. These coaches really use their players. They went deep, which is what you got to do. Believe in your players. These motherfuckers can play. But you gotta let them play. LeVar said this a long time ago. A coach can fuck your whole fucking confidence up, not putting you in the game, which is why he got his own AU team. Even in high school, coaches cut Michael Jordan his sophomore year. Coaches cut SGA, who's the MVP of the NBA. You cut him his high school year from the junior varsity team. He got cut. SGA got cut. So these coaches don't know what the fuck they be talking about. To sit them on the bench, this, that, and other. And then a lot of other situations people don't want to talk about because they kick the fathers out of the household and they put these mothers in position, and the mothers think they know the game, but all you got to do is buy them a house and a car, and they listen to what the coach say. It's not until they get into the coach, they want the coach to be the father. No, get the not biological father to be the father, like the LeVar Balls, like the Deion Sanders, like the Floyd Schofield seniors, like these fathers that know that what's going on in sports, that know what's going on with their child, that knows what's going on in life. Stop not believing in the black man and think he can't get the job done. That's what they want you to do. They want to confuse you. So yeah, man, Tibbs got to do a better job of changing his mindset. But get some black coaches up in there, man. I like to see some black coaches with New York Knicks, especially Mark Jackson.
Um, that's a fact. You know, Mark Jackson obviously is a New Yorker. It's gonna take somebody who can handle New York. That's another market. Let's get into the draft, man. I wanna talk about the NBA draft, which is in about 24 hours. We will be live, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's not make no mistake about the situation. Um, Listen, Charlotte at 4. We got a lot of things percolating with Ace Bailey. You know, Ace Bailey is looking to go what 6, 7, 8, maybe. I'm hearing Brooklyn, New Orleans, um, it, we gonna Washington. We're gonna find out what happens. I'm here to tell you right now that if I'm Charlotte, I'm taking Ace Bailey. I don't give a hell what the hell he didn't work out with us. He didn't do what. At the very least, with you taking Ace Bailey, you can trade him. You know, if he doesn't want to be there, you're gonna want to take one of these other guys anyway. So you take him. In my opinion, you take Ace Bailey at 4. It's looking like Philly. They're going with Edgecombe, and that's so crazy because it looked like Charlotte wanted him. Um, Cooper Flag is a lock. We're gonna get into Dallas because there's so many different ramifications. But I know a lot of people want to know what's happening with Charlotte at 4. You know, what's their thinking? I'm hearing a lot of different people, but it's looking like they're gonna bring in a bucket getter. You know, and I think that's something that Charlotte, you know, desperately needs. They need to get guys who can actually put the basketball in the hole. You know, you can't have no guys that need to be spoon fed all the time. You know, last year you drafted T.J. Salon. You know, Charlotte, Peterson, y'all on the clock. You know, this is a massive draft for Charlotte. That's why I'm telling you, you take Ace Bailey no matter what. You know,
That's
I don't
why. And, and,
right.
and
Go
if
ahead.
I'm not to cut you off, Flight, but if I and this ain't no shot against Cooper Flag because he can play. That brother can play. But I'm taking Ace Bailey number 1. But Cooper got so much publicity that if a team don't pick him number 1, it's like you drop the ball because he got so much publicity, and they you don't pick him, they'll fire your whole situation. But they don't they put negative publicity out there on Ace Bailey because he ain't take no interviews with the team, he ain't take no training with the team, he ain't got to. You saw the motherfucker all year. You ain't nothing else you got to see. You saw him all year. He ain't got to do them trainings. He ain't got to do none of that shit. You saw him all year. That man can flat out play the game on both sides. I'm Dallas. I'm taking Ace Bailey. Fuck what you heard. They capping. They talking all that bullshit. Oh, he's dropping. His stock dropping. He's slipping. Yeah, okay. He's slipping because y'all talk that shit about him. And the people that don't know the game of basketball, they look at Shador. Look at Shador. How in the fuck he slipped up first to 5th round when he should have been the number 1 pick? Because he about to shock the whole Cleveland. He about to shock everybody. Take Ace Bailey. The man got game. But if they don't, it's because what they do every year when they talk this shit about LeVar Ball's sons and this, that, and that. They try to put all that bad publicity on you, this, that, and other. People get to believe in what they read and think he can't play the game. Man, that man is cold-blooded. Ace Bailey, cold-blooded, 2-side player. He cold-blooded. He came up to Chicago, played against the Northwestern, and did some shit that, man, look, I know Cooper can't do. And Cooper got game. He got game. But when they pick who they want from the beginning, and they run that whole ad, who we want to shine and who we want to get all the publicity to and this, that, and other. They pick Cooper, and that's who they sticking with because now you got whoever the team is, you got to pick them number 1. How in the hell Dallas, that they ain't never won a number 1 pick in their life, but they trade Luka Doncic. Now they come up with the number 1 pick, so we know that shit rigged. We know everything is rigged. Everything is because it's a business, and I can't blame them because it's the NBA. It's a business with these governors that pick this and pick that, and they chose Cooper Flag. And they chose to talk negative shit about Ace Bailey, but that motherfucker can flat out play. He a gorilla. He a gunner. He a killer. You can't let nobody like that slip. Whoever let them slip, you're gonna be dumb as hell. Any team, whoever your owner is, you dumb as hell, stupid as a motherfucker. Because Ace Billy gonna come in the league, and don't be surprised he get rookie of the year because he's just that cold. He'll kill us.
Right. Right. I want to get into. I'm gonna get the decks one time. I want to add to what you said, because I'm looking at various different mock drafts. I look like Trey Johnson may not even be available for us. It's looking like some smoke and mirrors. It may be VJ Edgecombe or Trey Johnson. If you ask me, I like Trey Johnson. You know, pause because he averaged 19 points per game and he shot 39.7% from three. You know, he's 6'5". I think he could play with LaMelo, play with Miller. You know, I like that. Now, when you talk about VJ Edgecombe, 6'4", 34% from three, he looks like a guy that may need to be spoon fed or maybe trying to take the ball out of LaMelo ball hands. You know, we don't know. You know, that's not a bad or nothing. But I want them to just take Ace Bailey and trade him and do whatever they need to do to get this team better. And what if you take Ace Bailey and say, "Motherfucker, we want to see your ass tomorrow"? You know what they're gonna do. You know,
I
so I
would say,
mean, what they gonna do? Nothing. So they need to. I mean, if I'm Charlotte, you know, I know that it's probably not gonna happen, but I'm hearing because I heard Sham say some things that they may take him and maybe trade him because Washington is looking like his preferred destination is Washington, New Orleans, or Brooklyn. That's 6, 7, 8. So you're talking about a guy that should be the third pick trying to go 6, 7, 8. You know, and his agent and do all this bullshit. You know, so I hope Charlotte figures something out.
man,
Um,
if I'm
but
Charlotte, fuck that. If I'm Melo, I'm saying fuck Charlotte. I want to go to the LA Clippers. Get me up out of here because y'all already had this little hidden agenda ever since Michael Jordan owned the team and passed the team over to the other, billionaire motherfuckers. They all got the same shit. They ain't letting that man do what he want to do. They put him on a strain, this, that, and other. And that's, giving Melo a bad rap. And Melo is a cold-blooded player. Melo, they like that. People keep on saying Melo need help. No, Melo don't need no help. Charlotte organization need help because they don't understand, what I'm saying, to do the same damn thing over and over again is retarded. Trade the man. Y'all ain't trying to use him for what y'all want to use him for anyway. For what he want to be, and y'all definitely ain't focused on no damn championships or you making the playoffs. So trade the man to LA Clippers, get the claw, whatever the motherfucker that's over the Clippers. Let the man go there and have fun and enjoy life with his brothers, because that's what should happen. Ace Bailey, no doubt, he caught up in that system because the governors are putting that bad publicity on him, this, that, and the other. But trade Melo, get him up out of there. And to address the comment when people said, I agree with Caulfield, we can agree to disagree. Cooper, they say he got more control of the game than Ace Bailey. No, Cooper got them people backing him. He got the people behind him. Ace is that dude for real. It's like when you see fighters and you see motherfuckers, you say, damn, this fighter here proven. So I don't know about Kid Schofield because he ain't fought the Shakur Stevenson. They pulled the fight out. No, he say Shakur Stevenson life and his career. Because if Shakur had to get in the ring with that motherfucker, that man Silverback Gorilla would have destroyed fucking Stevenson up in there. But yeah, man, I'm taking Ace Bailey. I'm trading LaMelo, and I love LaMelo. LaMelo ain't said too much yet, but LaMelo should call him fit and get the fuck up out of there, Charlotte.
right,
Fuck Charlotte.
right. I want to get into my man All Access. Dex, what's the deal?
What's up, Access?
It's Flight Sports. We live. We got a lot to discuss. Trades, the draft. What the hell is going on in the association?
Well, first of all, Flight, salute to Coffee, because I don't want to not recognize this brilliant brother that's up here showcasing his talent, verbalizing and vocalizing the things that needs to be done on behalf of LaMelo, because he is 100% pro LaMelo Ball. So don't get that mistaken. He's not trying to have LaMelo in a bad situation. He wants LaMelo in the best situation, whether it's difficult, whether it's a struggle, but the best situation available for LaMelo and any of the Ball brothers that is on the hardwood. So pick up the Coffee for all the defending that he have done. I have definitely mentioned him to the big baller, and the big baller loves some Coffee. Oh man, he loves some coffee. He'd be like, Dex, man, that coffee is crazy. He might. The only craziest man is other than coffee is probably me, and that damn Uncle Vern. You follow what I'm saying? So this man is recognized internationally through the ballverse. So don't get it mistaken if this is your first time hearing coffee. He is legitimate. He is verified. He is solid, and he is certified. Coffee to the motherfucking world. Okay.
Appreciate that, Access. Appreciate that. Respect.
Listen, man, I saw you on Corey Holcomb's show, and I was just flabbergasted. The way that Corey Holcomb described you and how he appreciates you. You don't hear Corey Holcomb say that about a lot of people. You follow what I'm saying? Corey Holcomb is very deliberate in sharing his compliments. And when he complimented you and said the things that he said, I had already figured that out about you, Coffee. But Corey Holcomb just made it more solidified because he knows you. You know what I'm saying? He knows you more than any of us. But big ups to you for always promoting Corey Holcomb, and big ups to Corey Holcomb for bringing you on that 5150 show, and you showed your ass.
Yes, sir. And I told him about Flight Sports TV, and he want to do something with y'all. You know, so I'm scheduled to go back. I'm scheduled to go back on there, and I'll mention this even more. And if I can get y'all live, you know, when I go back on there.
Listen, Carl. You already know, Carl.
I already know what's about to happen. It's about to be so big. People about to be so epic. They don't even know. That's why I tell people, you know, I just came out with the clothing brand, Never Anything Too Easy, which is your life. You go to the website and visit it. Not neveranythingtooeasy.com. Neveranythingtooeasy.life, because that's your life. Not no .com. It's .life. And it's going crazy. Rizza Islam bought so much of my shit. Nick Cannon bought so much of my shit. Tiffany Haddish bought so much of my shit. And I ain't gonna tell you what Corey did. It's crazy. But we blowing up. We making waves to the industry. And I got two Henry twins, my son. These are my biological sons, about to shock the world in this basketball shit. And they both gonna be #1 NBA picks. I told motherfuckers it was about to happen. I just didn't tell Flight, and I didn't tell Flight Sports TV what I had going on, because you can't reveal too much until it's almost getting there. So it's almost getting there now. So I'm low key letting everybody know. Go visit neveranythingtooeasy.life. I appreciate Flight Sports TV, because that's where I met Floyd Schofield Sr. 3 years ago. I appreciate Access Dex. That's where I met him right here. Two epic brothers. That's amazing. Which is why when I go on podcasts like 5150, I let them be known, dog. You got to go visit Flight Sports. You got to go see what's happening over there, because them people got your back and they got your front, and they ain't did no hating shit. Because Corey don't trust no motherfucking body. That's been my man for over 35 years. You know what I'm saying? We became best friends because he stole on me in practice. I would knock him motherfuckers out, and he hit me out of nowhere. I was shocked, like I ate the punch, but now it's my turn to get my lick back. But everybody got in between us, and from there we became best friends. And Corey tearing up the whole string right now. He's working on a movie right now. You know what I'm saying? We got some things happening with the movie thing. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be epic. We got, like I said, you see what I'm rocking, the clothing brand right now. Never Anything Too Easy. Check it out. I got the same manufacturers as Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Gucci, Nike. I got the same manufacturers. So why buy that other bullshit? Them people don't give a fuck about your life. Why rock something that matters? You wear Never Anything Too Easy is right, rocking your own brand. But I'm gonna let Access Dex cook, and I appreciate that. Straight respect. You know what I'm saying? You acknowledge and you understand. You have like, well, how we doing this shit? Because we about to make waves, and they can't stop us. And you definitely can't stop a brother like me from Chicago. I'm about to shut the industry down, all this shit down. And I love my brothers. I love my sisters. Most importantly, I love Flight Sports TV, because we about to witness some history again on Friday. When Fred Schofield, when Kid Austin, Saturday when Kid Austin about to dismantle. I got the privilege to know his father for 3 years because of Flight Sports TV. He about to dismantle the most dangerous motherfucking boxer. He's the silverback gorilla that 100 millions don't want to see. I'm telling you.
Right. Shout out All Access. Shout out Freeway Ricky Ross. Dex, what's your thoughts? Go ahead, Dex. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say this real quick, because he mentioned a friend of mine, Rizza Islam, and
that's my man.
Rizza is a very serious brother. He's very serious. You know what I'm saying? Out of Compton, he's one of them Compton cats, but he's very serious. And you had him up there laughing. I ain't never seen him laugh like that.
Yes, sir.
I've been around him several times.
Really about
Hey,
6'7" and can fight his
RZA,
ass off.
yeah,
Really
yeah,
beat
yeah,
your ass.
right.
Really fight his ass
Yeah,
off.
yeah, yeah. He's combat. Yeah, RZA combat. And
That's
listen,
all right.
RZA stand post for Minister Farrakhan. So
Yes, sir.
you know he's a serious cat if he can stand post for Minister Farrakhan.
Yes,
And
sir.
you had him laughing, and it seemed like RZA went back to when he was probably 15 years old
Yes,
when
sir.
you was up there because he couldn't stop smiling. I was like, look at this dude. You know what I'm saying? Because he's always serious. He's trying to look into your soul to make sure that you ain't up to no BS. And because he don't want no BS around him. But Coffee, he welcomed you open arms,
Yes,
regardless
sir.
how much profanity you was professing at the time. And it was just crazy. I love the Coffee, and I love you too for that.
And
Now,
he,
as far as the NBA is concerned, like there's going to be a lot of movement going on in the NBA. Boston has traded two of its key component that got them a championship in season pass. So Boston is up for sale right now. There's wholesale going on. They're just trying to dump as much salary as they can in order to stay up under that apron and not be penalized because Boston done figured out because they're smart people up there in Boston. Boston done figured out that why pay so much money for a roster when your star player won't be back and it's a chance that you will be a first round exit if you make the playoffs. So that's hustling backwards. Now, as far as uh, Houston is concerned, wow, that's a big deal in Houston because even though Kevin Durant is aging out of the league, he is still a immaculate scorer. And when you have a coach that is demanding, is not afraid to bring out the best and challenge his stars, Kevin Kevin Durant is he's gonna thrive this year. And I'm not saying he's gonna average 30, but he's gonna be very impactful and very involved in everyday routines for the Houston Rockets when he gets out there in the hardwood. Now for Jalen Green, uh, it's a tough call for Jalen Green. Do we bounce back from this? It's going to be hard because he's already been coddled. He's already been bubble wrapped, and now he's been thrown to the sharks in the shark-infested waters NBA, where Shea is running the show right now. So Jalen Green has a lot of growing up to do, and he has a lot to showcase if he's going to be that kind of valuable player who's going to be a perennial all-star in year to come as the NBA youthful movement continues to move forward. Charlotte Hornets. I agree with you, Coffee, 100%. I don't know what the heck the Charlotte Hornets is doing, and I don't know what the heck the fans of the Charlotte Hornets expect them to do because they keep teetering on the seesaw. And the fans seem like they cool with it. Once you have a generational talent like LaMelo Ball, it behooves you as an organization and as a executive staff within that organization holding up the brass structure of it that you would be moving towards getting better competitively, right? And all these draft picks that they have occur. How many favors that the commissioner will have to do for Charlotte? Okay, I know Michael Jordan is somewhat involved still, and Michael Jordan is a folklore. He's iconic. He's a legend. He's anything celebrated when it comes to NBA. And it seemed like the NBA is going to pay Michael Jordan for the rest of his life as long as he affiliates with the Charlotte Hornets because they keep getting these high draft picks. And I'm trying to figure out why they keep drafting these kids. You never seen kids win an NBA title. So if Charlotte think they're going to be the youngest team to win an NBA title, they got another thing coming, right? Even as young as the OKC Thunder, they still had some mighty veterans on that team with championship experience. And even with the Indiana Pacers, same thing. They had championship experience. Hell, the Charlotte Hornets only got what? One All-Star appearance. One All-Star appearance experience on that team. Think about that. And you guys want to put your pom-poms up for Jeff Peterson and Charles Lee and Rick Snall and Gabe Plumpton? I mean, are you serious? What kind of basketball fans are you guys going to be for real? That's all the experience they have is one freaking all-star, one rookie of the year, and that's the same person. What else experience you got? You don't have no all-star experience. You have no championship experience. What they going to do with LaMelo? Is LaMelo going to rot in Charlotte? Is that what we're going to see? Is that what the NBA wants us to see? LaMelo just rot out in Charlotte? You know, I'm trying to figure out why people want Melo to stay in Charlotte. I'm trying to figure that out.
Because they sick. They sick and they don't understand how this shit work. They sick. And them governors, they so sick of themselves. When you hate yourself and you got something against the black man anyway, that's what happened, because LeVar is right on everything he said, and he's still right. And now he built that big ass Coliseum in his backyard, which is huge. LaMelo Ball is a cold-blooded player, just like Lonzo, just like Jello. Don't make no mistake about it, because Jello rapping, that just means he's multifaceted, he's cold, and got a plethora of talents. All the rest of them do too. The rest of them can rap as well too, and do other things. They just ain't doing the focus and locked in on one thing. They got a plethora of talents. Jello still can hoop, still cold, still incredible. You know, just working out in the gym for a month and a half, you see the old Jello, and just put him with his brothers, like LeVar keeps saying. But these motherfuckers don't want LeVar to be right because he's right all the time. It's like black people be right all the time, and they steal all our shit and everything we do, and they think something wrong with you, or you prejudiced, or it ain't we prejudiced. We ain't got nothing against nobody. It's just that right is right and wrong is wrong. The man is cold-blooded. Melo Ball is cold-blooded. I want to see him within Tour Dome, and Steve Ballmer, like I said 3 years ago, would be the motherfucker to pull the trigger, and he got the revenue, he got the money to do it, and he got the power to do it, to go above them fucking governors, the board of governors that game within the game, that they'll listen to Steve Ballmer, because he on a whole other level when you know what Steve Ballmer history is with Bill Gates. So they'll do it.
Coffee. Can LaMelo fill the seats in the Inuit Dome?
It'd be sold the fuck out and get his brothers. It'd be a rock concert. Everybody wouldn't be able to get in. It'd be standing room only, and them tickets would be sold. Just like Chicago Bulls when they have Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, tickets were sold out 6 years in advance, 10 years in advance. That's how it be. You got the Ball brothers. Tickets would be sold out 6 years in advance, 10 years in advance. They are a cold-blooded team, and when you saw them and witnessed them in high school, you was amazed. Imagine on this level, when all of them got maturation, all of them got maturity. And Steve Ballmer got loaded pockets, big pockets. Matter of fact, he's the wealthiest motherfucker owner in the NBA. Period. So, man, you just built the Tour Dome, cost over $2 billion. You just made something happen with history, with the seats moving and vibrating all over the place. Now get the right set of the team and focus up in there, which is the Ball brothers. But Access, I got a question for you. You saw Houston Rockets, right? They did very well this year, right? Houston Rockets success, Access. They did well this year, right? Access, you there? Access. I guess we lost you. Flight, you there? Flight. They lost access and we lost Flight. I guess they'll come back in. So I'm going to keep on rocking. I'm going to keep on cooking. Yeah, you got to get LaMelo Ball over there. Once you get LaMelo, you get Lonzo. Once you get Lonzo, you get Jello. Just like LeVar scripted, just like he said, and he 1,000,000% right. Fuck 100%. He 1,000,000% right. People hate on LeVar Ball because they hate themselves. People hate the truth. Black people hate themselves. They don't even support black companies and black-owned situations. Black people hate themselves because they ain't had no therapy doing all that slavery. Their ancestors and they family come from traditions traditional paradigm, and they didn't have no therapy. So black people hate themselves because anytime you ban all that Nike shit, and Louis Vuitton shit, and Gucci and Prada and Chanel, people don't give a fuck about your life. You buying that shit, they don't even know you. Buy black, stay black, support black, and LeVar is right, and everything he doing, everything he did. You know, how can you go against that man right there? You know, you don't do that. That's stupid. And I don't want to see Melo and Charlotte. Fuck Charlotte. They bootlegged him from the beginning because LaMelo would have been not only rookie of the year, he would have been the all-star every damn year if they didn't have a game within the game. They wouldn't have rigged it. They rigged the shit, and the man didn't get number one all-star game, and LaMelo was the best player in the NBA. Hands down. They want to tell you something different. That motherfucker cold-blooded. Not all the Paul brothers is.
Coffee. How do you get the fan vote, right? He get the fan vote, the number one guard in the East, and the All-Star is supposed to be entertainment, and through entertainment, you're gonna get viewership, and through viewership, you're gonna get sponsorship. So how you don't allow the number one vote getter for the Eastern Conference guards to participate? So they said fuck the bag, we don't want this dude.
They so fucking sick of themselves, how it's been for history, for years. When you hate yourself,
Can I add something, Coffee? I just want to let you know, I'm going to let you continue. Just let you know we got Purple in the building.
What's up,
Purple? The lovely Purple, baby. It's been a long time since we touched bases. After Coffee speak, we want to get your thoughts on everything that's happening in the association. Coffee, go ahead. What's going on?
Shout out to Purple. You know, so it's amazing what Dex just said, and we already know how. They're against Melo, and they want you to believe. Anytime you believe what them idiots say, majority of them didn't play no basketball. Majority of them came from Harvard University, Stanford, Princeton, Yale, Oxford University on some analytical shit. Fuck that. You use your common sense. You got two eyeballs. Take the eye test. And if you got common sense, you just see it right in front of your face. And for all them haters that hated on LeVar Ball, and he been right ever since he spoke out his mouth up until this point, and he just built that Coliseum, that big-ass basketball court in his backyard, I don't know no motherfucker that did no shit like that ever in the history of the game, period. Not even Michael Jordan, period. So he got three amazing sons, three phenomenal sons. And people think Jello can't play because he rap. No, Jello got a plethora of talents, just like his brothers. He rap is just one of the things he do. Basketball is just one of the things that they do. That's not who they are. LeVar just happened to be a cold-blooded man that tell the truth and had a good supporting cast. He had an amazing wife, Tina, that believed in what he was saying, because if most women believe in what men tell them, you'll go far. I don't want to hear that other bullshit, man. Because a lot of bullshit be capped. A lot of that shit be the United States make you hate the black man. Stop doing that. It should be more mothers and daughters, and it should be more fathers and daughters together to united than shit that's apart. But they make you hate yourself. Break up the nuclear family. And I'm so glad LeVar stayed tough through this shit. If I'm telling you right now, if young Lonzo and young Melo had to listen to what LeVar said in the beginning and signed with LeVar Ball, big baller brand, they'd be instant billionaires. They still gonna be billionaires. It just would have happened sooner. So Steve Ballmer, pull the plug, tell them boy the governor, stop the bullshit, bring all them Ball brothers, like I said 3 years ago, to the LA Clippers and watch the show. It'd be tickets sold out. It'd be 6 years, 10 years sold out. But I want to ask Dex this question before you got cut off. Did Houston do well this year, Dex? Dex. Access.
Yes.
They did well. And who would you say? Who would you say the two key players is the reason why Houston did very well this year, besides the coach?
I would say Fred VanVleet and what's his name? Afrin.
Okay, so you wouldn't put the tough guy in there that came from Memphis, and you wouldn't add Jalen Green in there.
Jalen Brooks.
Yeah, right.
Jalen Green did what he's been doing, just run up and down the court. He ain't did nothing different.
So you know it's average, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
So okay. So what's his average?
What, you talking about scoring average?
Right.
I think he had an average around 19.
Right. So check this out. They traded him and they traded Dylan Brooks. I know Kevin Durant is an instant offense. I already know he instant offense. And I know that your man Fred is the point guard that controls the tempo. But that Jalen Green made motherfuckers respect him. And that tough ass motherfucker from Memphis, and you trade two of the toughest motherfuckers. How they kept him and added addition to KD,
Well,
I'd have been like, oh, it's shooting about to go crazy. But I
but
don't
let
see
me
you
tell you
doing
something
nothing.
though. But let me tell you this though. One thing about Kevin Durant, he's a plug and play no matter where he's at, no matter what team he's on. Now, when you got a coach like Duka, Ime, he's not gonna let you fall down. You follow what I'm saying? And the Houston Rockets are 100% behind him. So whatever he wants, that's who Houston Rockets is going to pursue. So there's going to be some maintenance men out there that he's going to go pursue. You know what I'm saying? Because those are a dime a dozen. It's the superstars that are rare in the NBA. Maintenance men are a dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
no doubt,
and
but he ain't KD. Not to interrupt, he ain't KD of Golden State Warriors KD, and he already had that surgery. No doubt, he can still put points on the board. But
right,
Jalen Green, and that Dylan Brooks is a motherfucker. Dylan Brooks because he's like a Dennis Rodman. He's your intimidator, keep teams honest. And Jalen Green because he's got so many different shifty parts, so many different levels that you just can't teach that type of athleticism and that type of play. And he don't even know the game like that. Once he know the game, when he gets cerebral with it, it's over. I just want to let that go. I would just have loved to see them keep him with KD. But go ahead.
yeah, but like I said, the thing of it is that we're going to see. I trust in Udoka, and I trust that the Houston Rockets will be more of a threat this season than last season. It was a surprise to see them thrive so fast. You know what I'm saying? This is basically a 1 year turnaround. So now you're going to have Kevin Durant with championship pedigree, MVP pedigree, perennial all-star pedigree. That's something you just can't buy. And that information, that knowledge, Kevin Durant is the type of person that's willing to share.
Well, I saw him over there at Phoenix, right? And you got your man over there that put points on the boards too. You know, the yellow boy that came from Kentucky, he put big points on the board. And I just saw how Kevin Durant went on over there, and it wasn't too much. He gonna do. I ain't see nothing no different. You know, he gonna do some of the same things that he did in Phoenix and just carried over there to Houston. And no doubt, Udoka can coach his ass off. I love the black coaches in the NBA because all of them can coach their ass off, given the opportunity. They coach their ass off. But your personnel is just Kevin Durant and Fred VanVleet. And he's the point guard. I don't see nothing really, unless you got defenders that's going to come out like OKC, where everybody defended, and you're going 10, 11 deep. You know, you get the maintenance guys that do the intangible shit to fill in, but you just can't replace a Jalen Green. You know, even though he got the little court problem with Shorty and all that. But his athleticism on the court, he a monster. So it's going to be interesting to check him out this year. I say it's wide open, especially in the East, because you got your man from Milwaukee. He went down with Achilles. You got your man in Indiana went down with Achilles, and then you got one more went down with Achilles out in Boston. The brother went down with Achilles. So I think fucking Chicago Bulls fuck around being in the championship. Going in the East because there's too many guys and they're gonna be a year away from the game. So it's wide open in the East for real. But it's gonna be interesting to see what Houston do. Where you at, Access? Where you at, Purple? Where y'all at?
I want to talk to Purple for a second. Purple, what's your thoughts on all the stuff that's going on in the association? You see the big trade with Porzingis last night. It seemed like it was a breakup of the Celtics. What the hell is going on? We got the draft tomorrow. What's up?
What's up? First of all, I think with Houston, I think Houston from the scoring premise, I think they got a more consistent scorer in Kevin Durant. I don't feel like last year they had that guy, like that number one guy that you can depend on a game in and day out, a game in and game out as far as scoring. I think it'll become a little bit more solid, with Kevin Durant. I think it was time for Jalen Green to leave Houston, though, because I think they were wearing thin. Because when you look at the people who came from his draft class, they're like, it's not even close. And some people say he has talent, others say he don't. I think he does, but it's just about, putting that, not talent on the floor, just making it make sense. He's inconsistent. Like he'll give you a good 10 to 20 games, and then the next 10 games he's just inconsistent. And I think Houston became tired of that. And then it didn't help none that Amon, I think it's Amon that's in Houston because the Star is in Detroit. It didn't help none that Amon came in there as a playmaker and was more effective, not in scoring, just in less turnovers, better defender. It and it looks like they keeping Fred VanVleet. So I knew that was gonna come because I think they were growing tired. Like I think he's owed a contract here pretty soon. I'm not for sure. Another contract coming up. I knew they were gonna get rid of him. I just didn't think they were gonna keep Jabari Smith. I thought that would be one of the guys that they traded also, but I guess not. And then with Boston, I'm not surprised. They over the second apron. I'm not surprised that Porzingis got traded. I don't know what went on with him last year and stuff like that. Drew Holiday, good veteran guy. Not surprised that he got traded. My question is, with the people that Boston has left, like, do they try to compete for a championship still with Tatum out? Do they tank? That'll be interesting. I think they'll still compete and whatever. New Orleans, the trade with New Orleans, with CJ having a year left, I understand with not keeping him, but I think they should have just went on and kept him. But that is what that is. They try to get shooting more outsourced shooting around around Zion rather. And then as far as the Hornets and everything going over there, they, as I've been saying for the last year and a half, they don't have anything of value. When you keep drafting like Tijon last year, right? He went to the G League. I'm not in support of a team that I feel like that is below mediocre, with or without a healthy LaMelo Ball. So drafting, you can draft projects, but the Hornets ain't the team to draft the project. Or they shouldn't be drafting projects. And every young player has to come in the league and working on something. But the Hornets are not that team. I don't know. I see some of the reasons why they took Tijon, promising defender. I don't think he'll ever be this offensive guy that people think he is, that's going to average 18 points a game. I don't even see him averaging 12. But it was just the wrong pick. And when you look at this year's draft and whom they're saying that they're supposed to draft, I think a guy in Khan Knippel is one of the his skill set is right now, and I can understand the Hornets wanting to compete right now, but I think that's not one of the worst picks, because I think Ace Bailey, regardless of his talent, and Trey Johnson is two guys to me that need the ball in their hands for this team that I feel like would be worse picks than Khan Knippel. I hope they don't trade they pick and trade back and go get Khan. I think that would be stupid, as I feel like there are better shooters in this draft than Khan. I feel like people are adding on abilities to him. All of a sudden, he got this playmaking skill set and all of that. He's not that athletic to me. I don't see his defense translating to the NBA. The Hornets are just in a mess. They're trying to get players worth some kind of value because they ain't got none.
Good point, Purple. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into this, man. How big is this fourth pick tomorrow in this drive?
Like I said, because I heard Bartran talking about Ace and stuff like that. I think we over evaluate sometimes, players, for instance with Trey Johnson. I never thought Trey Johnson couldn't shoot, couldn't score, but the title that they're giving him of this shooter, he he is, but he is not. He is somebody that I think to properly develop properly and to reach the best player he can be is going to be better off with the ball in his hands and being able to score. I don't think he cannot play with the ball in his hands, but I think you'll see a better player with the ball in his hands. Same thing with Ace Bailey. I don't think Ace Bailey, with Harper handling the ball the majority of the season, same thing. People are just, with the catch and shoot numbers. I'm like, that's awesome that they can catch and shoot. But when you look at the vast majority of their baskets, especially Trey Johnson, with him being the best player on that Texas team and stuff like that, and that Texas team not being so good, and a lot of people criticized him prior to that, to the college season starting, of him going there. I don't know the reason behind Trey Johnson going to Texas and don't really care. But that's just the thing to look out for. And I just don't understand, Trey Johnson's fit for this team specifically, when I feel like people overuse the ability of Brandon Miller playing with the ball without his hands. It's cool, every once in a while. But I think in order for Brandon Miller to be the best player he needs to be, he has to have the ball in his hands in order to properly develop seamlessly. And I think by getting a player like Trey Johnson or even Ace Bailey is not going to work. You're going to need somebody to sacrifice and be able to move without the ball in their hand. And I don't see either one of those guys coming in year one with things they have to prove as rookies, being able to, be effective offensively with the ball not being in their hand.
Point. Good point. I just think that there's a lot of pressure, especially on not Charles, I'm tripping, Peterson and company, because they drafted my man, last year, T-Jan. I know people are critical of him. Some people, want to give him some time. Um, Whatever it is, they need to get a guy who can come in and produce right away.
Right.
You can't have a guy who comes in, and needs to be spoon fed. He needs time. We got to get a product who could come in here and put the ball in the hole, who could be effective and be in the rotation, not sent off to Greensboro and
Yeah.
buried on the bench somewhere. He has to be in the rotation and a focal point, a part of what's happening. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Whoever they get, preferably a guy who I want another scorer. I just feel like the Hornets they can't get enough guys. I think they can let go of the Nick Smiths in the world. They're
Thank
not
you.
really cutting it.
Thank
They need maybe Trey Johnson's the guy. We don't know what they're gonna do. But I like Trey Johnson. If he's a consolation prize, I think he'll be an upgrade over the other guards that we have.
Yeah,
On that roster.
I would agree with that if Brandon Miller, Trey Johnson, by the way, if Brandon Miller was not there. I think it was I can't think of his name that come on here. And he kept saying Brandon Miller is a catch and shoot player. And I adamantly disagree with that. And I'm like, if the plan is, which I don't understand that, is to take Trey Johnson or somebody like Ace Bailey anyway, just to put Brandon Miller in the background as this catch and shoot player, that's a whole nother situation. But it's just like that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Then Brandon Miller, because if it's true that Brandon Miller is the only player worth the value to the other GMs around the league for Charlotte and the player that everybody is interested in, I think that takes away a lot of his value if you just turn him into this catch and shoot guy in order to come in and favor to, Ace Bailey or even Trey Johnson, two guys that need the ball in their hands to be effective and to be the best players. I mean, the best person that they can be as rookies for this Charlotte team. Like, that'll be my thing. And the Hornets don't just need, I've been thinking about this all summer and even throughout the season. We know that when LaMelo Ball is off the court, as we seen last year, regardless of the injuries, that they needed a playmaker, and whatever. I don't I just think they need two players in that starting lineup instead of one. And I think they're the reason why people love Khan so much because I think from a playmaking perspective, they feel like he can fix that. And you forget about the amount of threes. Like I told y'all last year, they needed somebody else to, whether it's coming off the bench or within that starting lineup, to shoot threes and be really effective and literally above average. And if it's true with the coach said that he wants LaMelo to go more inside. Now I don't know if he mean inside like to the rim, and hit more shots at the rim, or if he literally meant like actual mid-range shots and things like that. But if that's true, that's another problem. I don't have too much faith in Ace Bailey or Trey Johnson to be above average 3-point shooters coming in their rookie year. I think both of those young men excel at the mid-range and at the basket more than they do from three.
Oh yeah, man, I totally agree with you. We're gonna find out. I mean, there's a lot of speculation. What you think was going on with the trades? How many trades you think could be expected tomorrow? What do you think?
Um, with Boston kind of I hope Boston don't trade. I don't think they need to. Still, I don't think to trade Jalen Brown because I know he's making. I think one of the players making the most money. So outside of that, I don't know what Boston looks like. Um, without Tatum, I don't know what they do. I expect them to be extremely competitive. Philadelphia, as I thought last year, made a mistake. It was said allegedly that it looks like if they stay at three instead of taking Ace, because they said Ace Bailey, which I could have sworn they said Ace Bailey like a week or and a half ago worked out for Philly, but now they're saying he didn't. I like BJ Edgecombe a lot, but I don't think BJ, with his lack of ability to score,
Yeah.
the player that they should take, I definitely think they should still take Ace Bailey. But they put themselves in a hole when they traded for Paul George and gave him that money. And whatever. We talked about Charlotte. I don't care what Utah does. Unfortunately, I think New Orleans, like I said before, just wanted to get off of McCollum's contract, and um, the Bulls are quiet, but I didn't expect them to do much. I wouldn't be surprised if Vucevic is still there coming into next season. Um, it'll be interesting. I don't think there's too many worthy players that like for Devin Booker. At first, I was mad that he wanted to stay in Phoenix, but then I had thought about the new cap situation, and I'm like, yeah, it's not too many teams he can go to. That Phoenix would feel like, okay, if I take this player like Paul George on, I would need the assets in terms of picks back. So I think that's why Devin Booker went on and stayed in Phoenix and whatever chose to, read because him and Bradley Beal, that team is not going to be good. That team is not even going to make the play in. But Phoenix is stuck, like Philly is stuck with Paul George. And we forgot about Desmond Bain. I don't know about Memphis just because, yeah, I was about to say Tatum. Jaren Jackson had a good year last year, but I still think Ja is their best player. You can't have like I feel like Jaren Jackson is effective, but he's not effective. Like he fills up the stat sheets, except for when it comes to rebounds, and that's just a problem for me. So I think they got to make a hard decision because if you feel like Ja's the reason why the team went downhill, you got to move him. But if you don't feel that way and you feel like it's Jaren, it's delusional to still hold on to him, and then with people coming up behind him like Chet and Pablo and Evan Mobley and stuff like that, for you basically trading while his value is high. is what I'm thinking. But Houston, Memphis is, you know, old Desmond
Yeah,
Bain.
as I, it's so crazy. The critics on LaMelo Ball is crazy. The way they speak about LaMelo. I mean, it's
I mean,
devastating.
Flight, are you surprised though? Like I
Like
said,
they do know now for real. I was just listening to Chris Broussard.
oh,
I'm listening to you and I'm listening to Chris Broussard. I don't know how this came across my timeline, but you got Chris Broussard just going at Melo and his counterparts talking about
here's
how
the thing.
Melo don't care about winning. He's just happy. He's living the life. He's rich. You
Yeah,
know, he's
yeah.
driving
But
on roofs.
yeah, that was
He doesn't care
diabolical.
about winning.
That was diabolical. But here's the thing. I hope that Steve Clifford, because to me, I know Steve Clifford wasn't lying when he said, "Oh, LaMelo coming to the gym." Clearly, I know that he was doing that for a fact, right? What
Yeah.
is what is it really? Because I don't think it has anything to do with him not being healthy, first of all. And second of all, not winning. I feel like it's something else because we've seen guys injured before, whether the team is winning or not, make the All-Star game. What is it when it comes to the coaches and the media? Because unless Jackson, Jordan got really tight friends within the media and they felt a particular type of way when LeVar Ball was going around saying he would beat Michael Jordan. I don't understand what's really going on. And like I told Dex coming into this past season, they're going to do him as successful as we've seen and impactful Trae Young be. If you notice, Trae Young, outside of what going on 3 or 4 years now, when they made like the fourth or the fifth seed, whatever it was, people felt like, yeah, Trae Young can put up stats, but it's not going nowhere. Like he's not a winner. I knew that they were going to do that to LaMelo, LaMelo, especially when Mitch came out and said sometimes rookie players, whether it's potential or whatever, can be better than veteran players. I don't care what veteran players, unless you're talking about like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, people like Kyrie Irving, even Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, people like that. Unless you're speaking of them, it was diabolical to me that Gordon Hayward. I knew Gordon Hayward. He was beat up that time he came to Charlotte. I knew it was not going to turn around for him, and I thought it was diabolical that Mitch Kupchak, and I was standing my ground, gaslit, LaMelo and said, "Oh, he got to work for the." I felt like Terry should have been out the way. Devontae should have been out the way. And it should have simply been about LaMelo from day one. And the fact that they still value Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham, and Gordon Hayward over him was crazy to me. Even with Miles Bridges prior to him getting into the situation that he got into. I think they had faith in PJ, but PJ was type ass to me. But I don't think this new regime is doing that. I feel like they look at it and say, if this guy, whatever rookie they take, has better abilities or a skill set than this guy, then we're going to move on from this veteran guy. It's unnecessary to favor this veteran guy because he's a veteran or because what we think he might do when impact matters. This team struggles badly. Brandon Miller struggled badly because he's not a playmaker. He's not a guy that's going to set up other guys. He's a guy that, to me, can get his, but can't get baskets for others and stuff like that. But it's a mess. And I want to know what's going on between those coaches, because I feel like they say that LaMelo's this good player, this hardworking player, but it's something under that I feel like we as his fans don't see that they're saying. And I really wish that they would just come out and say it, because I don't get it, bro. I don't get it at all.
I'm with you. Great points there. It's a lot. This draft is gonna be, it's gonna be crucial. This is a make or break draft for a lot of different teams. What's your thoughts on the San Antonio Spurs and what they possibly could do? We hearing their name in trades as well. What you think
Absolutely.
about San Antonio?
I think with San Antonio, again, the opportunity. Most of San Antonio's players are young. I don't understand the Dylan Harper pick, and that's what I say about the NBA. I don't believe in the philosophy that you should take when it comes to the NBA, that you should take the best player available, especially when you don't have a need for said player. Now, I can understand taking Dylan Harper if during the season you plan on trading. A lot of people are picking on De'Aaron Fox, but it could be, Stephon Castle. I'm not mad about that. I just don't understand taking Dylan Harper, especially, and a lot of people are hyper focusing as they should on De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle, but nobody's talking about Vassell, Devin Vassell. He's also, a guard in that backcourt. I don't understand taking that just because I believe San Antonio should trade that just because they need a forward. I understand they got Harrison Barnes, but it's time for Harrison Barnes to go to the bench and be more of a mentor by this point. He's a player in this NBA that puts up good numbers, but his good numbers aren't really that effective, and stuff like that. So, but they believe in taking the best player available. But I think they should trade the pick and whatever and let Dylan Harper be able to go to a team, whether it's Charlotte, Washington, I was about to say Atlanta, New Orleans, I think would be a good spot as they need a secondary ball handler and stuff like that. Somewhere where he can just blossom. Because I like Dylan Harper. I hope I'm not wrong. I think he's pro ready. I think he's going to have his struggles, coming into a pro offense. But I think it won't be too big of an adjustment for him. I'm excited for him. I just don't like the idea. I think the San Antonio thing is already hard with De'Aaron Fox being there. And if they're adding, I just don't understand them adding Dylan Harper.
Good point. Good point. We're gonna see. We're gonna see who may be joining. You know them. I heard possibly Victor Wembanyama could be getting some reinforcements. We don't know. Giannis still hasn't said anything. All of these Achilles tears going on.
Yep.
Before we get into everything, I want to get both of your thoughts. What was your thoughts when you seen Tyrese Halliburton go down like a gunshot in that first quarter? Before I get your thoughts, Purple, the Tyrese was red hot. I mean, the man hit three threes. I was getting the popcorn, Purple and Dex. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, he about to put the candle to these niggas. Halliburton gained my respect. I'm one of them people. I pay homage, man. Do I like the Pacers? Absolutely not. They knocked out the Knicks, but these dudes started playing so well. I had to show these guys nothing but love, man. I wanted them to win it. I thought they
Right.
was the
Me
best
too.
team all year long. And to be honest with you, it's all messed up, but that's the game of basketball. But we'll never know. But I believe if he never got hurt, he was ready to go all the way, with OKC that night. They was gonna have to put his ass down, and I wanted to see if Shea and them would have stepped up to the plate because he was ready, but Purple, what was your thoughts when he went down? Now, that was my thoughts. Give me your
The first thing I thought about is, are they gonna speak on the real issue? We know, and guys have admitted this, that guys play hurt all the time. Nobody can be 100% healthy, and I think that's the real issue. How healthy was Tyrese Halliburton, not just in this series, but the whole playoff run and stuff like that? How healthy was he? Same thing with Damian Lillard. He's a guy of age and stuff like that. How healthy were, same thing with Curry. We know Curry throughout his career has dealt with knick-knack injuries. Curry has said, and people that have played him admit to roughing him up and things like that. How healthy were they? Because I think if we literally allow these guys to properly heal like they should, you don't see what happened to Halliburton having to Halliburton. Same thing with Dame. They're playing at these high speeds and stuff like that. They're starting and stopping a lot, which I think has a lot to do with the injuries also. But I think the biggest thing that needs to be answered, because it's not just a basketball issue, it's a sports issue, period. No matter what sport you look at, all athletes play hurt. Nobody's 100% healthy when they come back. They like to say that they are, but they're not. They're not. And I hope Halliburton is okay. I hope Tatum, is okay also. But it's no secret that these guys are not fully healing, and they're coming back because they don't want to be. The mentality is quite toxic. If I can play with this knee, hurting, you should be able to play with this knee hurting. Or if I can play with this amount of ankle pain, you should be able to, whatever it is. That's leading to these guys getting hurt. And we've said 1,000 times before, a lot of these guys are coming in playing 10 times the basketball that even KD played coming in. Definitely what LeBron James played coming in. And stuff like that. They're playing so much basketball prior to them getting to the NBA that it's not surprising that they're getting hurt so soon, early, and constantly, and stuff like that.
Good point. You know, it's crazy. What's going on, man. This drive, I can't wait. Obviously, we didn't get into Dallas. We all know what's going on there.
Bro, I don't even want to talk about that. That is trash. They need to do better with that lottery. That is trash.
Yeah, that was retarded. But they giving the pick to Dallas, and they want them out there. It is what it is. I don't know. Charlotte ain't gonna never get a break. But
Oh, I wanted to answer Rap Guy's question because I seen he answered. He asking about why do I think Melo hurt? Exactly what I just said.
who?
LaMelo, why does he get hurt? Because I don't believe when I know that y'all was upset, like Dex and a lot of other people was upset that the Hornets didn't let LaMelo play. And I said, I hope it's from the reason I think it is. LaMelo might have not been 100%. He might have felt like he could go out there and play, and whatever. And because you got to remember, I believe one of his ankles fractured and then the other one broke. Right? I don't know which one happened first. I don't know if that fracture happened first or if he. I felt like a fracture happened first, and then he refractured it, and then the other side he broke. I feel like, but he wasn't 100% ready to come back. To me, when he initially, if the fracture happened first, when the initial fracture happened, it's the same thing about that wrist. He came back too soon and whatever. Regardless if it was healed, he came back too soon. He should have been out for the rest of the season personally. But again, it's this if this player can play with this injury, because it was the same thing, like I said, the toxicity in the NFL. Best believe, I believe to this day, when it comes to them concussions, they still do that stuff to them players. Oh, they got get back up. Ain't nothing wrong. Do this. Telling them what to do. I don't care if them doctors is on the sideline or not. And yeah, their loyalty is to the NFL, but the NFL, it's about the money and the product at the end of the day. And it's no different in the NBA. They make a lot of these guys not being 100% ready to come back and play. And that's what happened with LaMelo. I don't think he might be 100% now. We'll see, but he wasn't supposed to come back to me when that fracture initially happened. He came back too soon.
Good point. Well, we're gonna see, man. There's a lot going on. I'm looking at all of this news and updates. Um, we're gonna see. Like I said, tomorrow is gonna be something special. That's one thing I can let you know. Um,
And
good.
for Milwaukee, really quickly, I'm not mad that they held on to Brooke Lopez and Bobby Portis as long as they did, but I do feel like they held on them held on to them a little too long. I think they have some value, but not as much as they once had. I don't know what Milwaukee's gonna do to remain competitive. Um, now with Chris Middleton on, I'm glad that they got rid of that. He's another guy that I just think age caught up with him and whatever injuries he had prior, because he wasn't able to be as effective as he was prior, and they held on to him for too long. So I think they could have got more if they would have traded him sooner, and whatever. But I think Milwaukee at this point to remain competitive is just throwing stuff at the wall, in order to still compete. Because there's no way that Cleveland should have surpassed you as inconsistent as they are due to injuries and player performance, in my opinion, there. But I don't know what Milwaukee's, because they don't have a bench. They barely got a starting five to me, outside of an injured Dame and Giannis and a older, long in the tooth Brook Lopez, and with Bobby Parties. They need to get younger, fresher legs. I don't know what they do, bro. I don't know what Milwaukee gonna do.
Milwaukee's a real wild card. Are you keeping up with any WNBA, Purple?
I'm trying to. I know the Chicago Sky is ass, and I know Indiana is doing well.
Yes.
I'm trying
because I'm going live at 10 o'clock, literally in about another hour, about 45. So I'm going live for Caitlin Clark. So
the young lady that they was talking about, the black lady, what is her name? I think her brother plays in the NFL or something like that. She got a brother. I know that because they be talking about her brother. I think he do play in the NFL though. And she was at USC. Is she in the NBA? Or is she still?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh my God, what's her name? Because I can see her face. I feel like she might be in college still, maybe. But if she not, that's who I'm watching for. Is her. I can't think of her name though.
Well, yeah, it'll come to me. That's why I'm looking for. Like I said, I'm pulled back up in about another 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you got the bell on the icon. I'm going live. You got the Indiana Fever versus the Seattle Storm. I'm giving play-by-play coverage. It's Flight Sports TV. Don't touch that dial. We'll be
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.